music. He's like love, 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 and music. La la la, love, 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 and music. Love, love.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for tuning in. I am Jay Lee. This is Jay Lee's Corner. And as you can see from the title, this is a story time. And this is my own personal love after lockup story. But today's lipstick, tonight's lipstick, because it is currently 3:14 in the morning. So this is Kat Von D. The color is K-Dub, and I got it from Sephora. So, yeah. I love it, and I wanted it for like the first 3 reviews that I did today. So, someone I had mentioned, I think while I was reviewing Love After Lockup, that I had dated a guy in prison before, so I could like kind of, I guess, connect some of the girls, even though they were all dumb. Their antics of dating people with guys and girls. It was guys and girls. So my experience, when I was 17, I was dating this guy. We're gonna call him the bad guy. We're gonna call him the bad guy. And I was 17, he was 19, and I remember it was something like he was a friend of a friend, and they like called our house one day because they were like arguing over what color my sister's Jeep was, and I happened to answer the phone, and they was like, "Hey, what color is your sister's Jeep? You know, me and so and so, you know, me and the bad guy are talking about it, and you know, he says it's one color, and I said her Jeep was purple." No, it's not. I guess it is. So we kind of went back and forth or whatever. And he was like, you know what? You know, when I see you, I'm going to like, when I see you, I'm going to, he said something dumb or whatever. And I was like, whatever. And so, you know, went over to my friend's house, who he stayed across the street from her. And we met. He was cute. Okay. He was really cute. And he was a bad guy. You know what I'm saying? And he's actually the person who introduced me to smoking cigarettes, because I thought he was cute and he smoked cigarettes. So I said, "Oh, let me have one." And I did not smoke at all. I hated smoking at that time. And he was like, "You don't smoke?" And I was like, "Yes, I do. Give me a cigarette." Dumb little girl. And I smoked a cigarette and got addicted. So that's a whole nother story time on how I quit smoking 10 years later. So we started dating. You know, I'm 17, he's 19, and we dated for a few years. So when I was 20, he was 22. This was in 2000. Yeah, 2002. So in 2002, I was 20 years old, and he ended up going to jail. And I was like, oh my God, I can't believe it. You know, he went to jail. He went to prison. He went to prison. And he got 2 years. 2 years in prison. Initially, he was not here in Michigan. He was in he went to like Jackson. Then he was at like some other prison like here or whatever. Because prisons in Michigan, they're not close. They're like far away mostly. And so like for the first year, he was away. And the second year, he just so happened to have, they brought him to our prisons here in Detroit. We had a prison called the Ryan facility, I think it was. And so he came back here for something, and they just kept him here. So I was like, oh my God, I can go see him. So I would like go visit him in prison all the time. And the prison was literally, I could walk to the prison from my house. It was that close. But I took a cab because I didn't have a car then. And I took a cab because you had to, ride through the gates. So I would take a cab to the prison, and then for the most part I would just walk home. I could have just walked there too, but yeah, I would just walk home, or sometimes I would get a ride. I would get home, cab ride, whatever. And for 2 years I would put money on his books. I would take pictures for him, wrote letters, phone calls, all that shit. And we were together before he got locked up. And while he was in prison, I was like, I'm going to prove my love. I'm going to get a tattoo with, something about him. So I got my first tattoo, which I showed yesterday. And it says, J. Lee, and it says 380. I'm not going to explain the 380, but it was a code between me and him that we had. So I got that tattoo. So I went to go see him in prison one day, and I wore like a short sleeve shirt. And when I walked in, I made sure to walk in and, turn that way so he can see it. And he was like, "What? You got a tattoo?" And I was like, "Yeah, I just want you to know I love." It was so dumb. And he was like, "It's so small." And I was looking like, "What?" I thought it was my first tattoo, and I was scared it would hurt, so I got a small one. But yeah, I would go visit him. We had certain days I can go visit him. It was just, it was stupid. So then I got a second tattoo. And because we were engaged, he proposed to me while he was in prison, people. And I happily accepted. I was so stupid. And he was like, "Yeah, when I get out, I'm going to get you a ring." And I said, "No, I'm going to go buy a little ring to just wear until you get out, so people can know that I am engaged." And I went to like a little pawn shop and spent like $200 on a little ring or whatnot. And then I went and got this tattoo. And the second tattoo was his name. And he did not know. I think we were jokingly talking about it or whatever. And he said, "You wouldn't do that. You don't love me enough to do that." I showed him. So I went and got his name tattooed on the back of it's here. On the back of the nape of my neck. It's covered up now though. And I went to go visit him, and I went out and bought a shirt that had that part of my back cut out, so that when I walk in, I would he wouldn't see it until I got up and went to get his snacks and shit. So I walked in, gave him a hug, whatever, didn't mention the tattoo. And I'm like, "You want some snacks? You want some snacks or whatever?" He's like, "Yeah, at prison you gotta buy the food." So I got up and went, and then when I stood up and walked past him, I heard him go, "The fuck?" I heard him say that, and I didn't say anything. So I went and got him whatever it was, and came and sat back down. He was like, "Turn around." So I was like, "For what? For what?" And he like, I turned. He was like, "You got a tattoo?" And I was like, "I told you I would. I told you I loved you." And stupidity. He loved the tattoo or whatever. And we were still, so the whole time he was in prison, he ended up getting out. And when he got out, he still lived with his parent, his mom. And I would be at his house and stuff. And he was on tether. So he couldn't go 5 feet from the porch. So he couldn't go anywhere. He couldn't get a job. It was just the stupidest shit ever. And he got out. And at first it was great. Because, of course, he was out. I was his girl. We had dated before, so it wasn't as if we did not have we had a well-established, tumultuous relationship with abuse, cheating, just shit, that went on or whatever. But again, I'm young and dumb. Okay, I met him when I was 17. I'm now, 20 years old. I was 20 years old at the time, so that was at least 3 years of craziness. And so he was, out. I'm at the house, we hanging out, drinking, having fun. And I would give him pedicures. I would get this all kind of stuff. I was working, and he didn't have a TV. So I was like, I'm going to go to Rent a Center. We have a Rent a Center here where you go to. It's a place where you rent furniture, where you rent to own it. So I rent him a TV, and I had to have them deliver it to my house, and then I had to take it to his house. It was just this whole thing. And I remember we were arguing. I think because I called him, and I don't know, something dumb. We got into an argument. Well, not dumb. It's dumb as in I was dumb enough to still be with his ass. And we ended up breaking up a month after he got out. And I had to go to his house, and he was very pissed off at me because I took the TV back. And I'm like, we ain't together. I'm not going to keep paying for a TV if we're not together. And it was just stupidity. So my thing is, even if you date somebody and you were dating before they went to prison, when it's not right, it's just not right. And, me and the bad guy, was not right. He did things that were crazy that I accepted. And because I'm like, oh, he's in prison. And he told me all this stuff in prison. He's going to be a better person. He proposed to me in prison. We're going to get married, have his family. And I'm like, we were going to get married in prison. Like, he was like, he had ordered the prison wedding clothes. He had talked to the people we had done things to get married. And then we found out he would be getting paroled early, so he wouldn't be there as long as we thought he was. So we said, oh, well, we might as well just wait to get out and not do it in prison. Had I married him in prison, y'all probably wouldn't even be talking to me right now, because he might have killed me, I might have killed him, and it could have been a whole bunch of things going on. But yeah, I had my own. It was just, he would cheat, just stupid stuff. He would just do stupid stuff. And I was so enamored with him, because he the people who are so crazy that they love you. Like, he was so crazy, he loved me, and he would not let me go. And for years after we broke up, he was continuously in my life in one way or the other, up until, I swear, until I was like 28. Because after we broke up, we remained friends, and we had this weird connection, the weirdest shit ever, that no one understood. Because it would be times where I would have a new boyfriend, and I would have to explain to them, hey, this is my ex. This is the guy who the one that named on my back. That's him. We ain't together anymore, but he's going to be around. Like, he's my friend now, and you have to accept that. And my friends always tease me, because they were like, you're the only person I know who would get your new dude to accept your old dude. And I'm like, well, because ain't nothing up between me and him. But from the outside looking in, people always assumed we were still connected. And I'm like, no, I said, we do have this unspoken bond. I said, because after a while, he ended up apologizing for things he did, and we had kind of moved past it, because again, we weren't together. At one point, he had fell down on his luck. He was living with me on my couch, and that's when shit got real, because that's when I had to realize, girl, he is not your friend. And anyone who will do anything and not care about your feelings when y'all are supposed to be friends. Like, y'all have apologized. Well, no, not y'all. He has apologized for things he has done, and y'all have moved past it. Y'all have had a couple of good years as friends, and then, he goes and done some dumbass shit. You can't keep allowing him to be in your life. And finally, he got out of my life. And for some reason, my life got better, because I wasn't consistently trying to hold on to this friendship to a person who I assumed was like my first one true love or whatever. And I felt in some weird way I always needed him around. Like, if something goes wrong, I can always call the bad guy, and he'll always save me. But I was like, bitch, you can say yourself, okay? But you have to sometimes learn those lessons. The good thing about it is, him in my life never stopped me from doing things, but it always hindered me from going further than where I went. Because every boyfriend I had would, like, eventually they was like, well, damn, I gotta keep accepting old boy. Like, how is that fair? Like, it's a birthday party, he right here. Yeah, he is. Like, for my 30th birthday, was it my 30th? Maybe my 28th birthday. It might have been my 28th birthday. It was my 30th, because I got very, very, very drunk. 30th birthday, went to a club and got plastered drunk. I was double fisting Long Island's in the club at Nikki's downtown here in Detroit. Got so wasted. And an ex of mine happened to be at the same club who I hadn't seen in years. And I was like, AJ, what you so me and my ex AJ reconnected, and at the club that night, and I was so drunk. I was like, no, he's gonna come to my house. He's gonna follow me home. But I was too drunk to drive. But the bad guy was there because he was always around, and he would not let AJ follow me home. Like, he was like, nope, she too drunk, not gonna happen. I'm like, I'm too drunk to really even be coherent to what is transpiring between those two. And I'm like, and AJ said later on, like, your friend was really like, cock blocking. So it would be times where he would block certain stuff. And I'm like, oh, it's just the bad guy. Just what he do. Just don't even worry about him. Because it wasn't as if he was consistently around like on an everyday basis. But for like birthdays and like hanging out and stuff, he was around. But he did like he went to jail like 2 more times. And each time he went to jail, guess who was there? Each time he got in trouble, who would experience his mom or his brother's call? It'd be me. So my love after lockup situation was that I didn't meet someone when they were in prison and help take care of them and was there for them. I was with the guy before he went to jail and stayed with him through jail. We broke up after he got out of jail. And even for years later, still had the ball and chain of his love after lockup antics affecting me in some kind of way. But I'm happy that I went through that experience because I have never dealt with a person in jail since then, before or after. I have let any boyfriend know, if you go to jail, I'm not that ride about. I'm not gonna be that ride or die bitch when you're doing dumb shit. Because what he went to jail for, it was stupid. It was something dumb. He didn't kill anybody, nothing like that. Like, he didn't kill or rape anyone. It wasn't any kind of, nothing like that. But even I don't want a person who might go to jail. I don't. So I'm happy I was able to go through that in my early 20s, so that now that I'm, the age that I am now, it's out of my system. Okay. And so watching Love After Lockup, I'm looking like, oh my God, they so dumb. Like, everything that they send in jail, they're not gonna do it. Like, it's not gonna happen. It's not. So that is my story time for today. So that was my Love After Lockup story. I bought him a TV from Running Center, and he was so pissed when I took it back. Like, he was very, very pissed off at me. And I'm like, but you're not even paying for the TV. Like, he didn't even want to pay for the TV. He wanted me to keep paying for it, even though we were broken up. And he was being an asshole. I was like, man, you so I have 18,000 stories just based on the bad guy alone. But we're not going to go there. But yeah, so now y'all know that is my Love After Lockup story. My shit didn't work out either. Just like they shit didn't work out. But I am here now for you guys, doing reviews and doing story times because of the bad guy, I guess, and one way or another, he molded me to who I am today. So yeah, anywho, I am Jay Lee. This is Jaylee's Corner. Peace.